We were first introduced to the concept of vampires when Dio put on the doomsday face mask and became Jeffrey Dahmer, and saw the massive strength potential that came with the mask. Later in part 2, we were introduced to Santana and the Pillarmen, which are somewhat resistant to Hamon, and the Sun, which is described by Speedwagon to be on a different level from before. Cars being massively stronger than Santana, and even saying he was like a little pup compared to him, Wamuu and eisidii. Cars and Dio are like Michael Jordan and Scotty Pippin of the vampires, as they both got incredible powers and are considered the magic duo when you talk about vampires and JoJo's. Dio would withstand the world and Cars with his ultimate life form. So the question arises, who would win between these two characters if they were to actually fight? I've done a Cars vs Part 1 vampire video in the past, along with a lot of vampire videos where I put them against each other, which will be on the screen right now. I highly recommend watching those videos for more in-depth, detailed explanation of how strong these characters are. Starting off with Dio. Dio Brando is massively stronger than Tarkus, who can split a cliff casually with a swing. Dio, of course, being stronger than Jonathan is a given, as he frequently overpowers him throughout the fight, which massively upscales him of characters such as Cars. A lot of people use the food chain panel as a confirmation that Cars should be logically stronger than every other vampire, but forgets that it's just a picture of reference of the hierarchy. It says that vampires are below Pillarmen, but this doesn't actually apply to all vampires. This in itself is an association fallacy, as we cannot make the assertion that all vampires are equally as strong. We definitely know that Dio is both physically stronger than Cars and more durable, as nobody in part 2 is able to perform a feat on the level of Tarkus, which is weaker than Dio by at least 5 times. Considering that both Jonathan and William Zeppeli were getting bullied by both Dio and Tarkus, with Dio of course being stated to be at least 5 times stronger than both Zeppeli and Jonathan combined. With the fact that Cars is constantly getting blown away by pistols and torn apart by them, and needed to use a makeshift flashbang to escape being eliminated by the gun. When Cars achieves the ultimate life form, what is said is that he gets all the powers of every life form concurrently. Metas uses the panel to justify Cars being above every stand, which is kinda strange in my opinion, as the very panel just says concurrently, which by definition means that he holds all the power of the living world combined currently. So he definitely isn't stronger than Jotaro or Dio. I mean, maybe stronger than Head Dio, which is fine, because he's been marinating in the ocean for over 100 years, so who really cares about that? So with all of that cleared up, besides having Hamon, which is said to be exactly 100 times stronger than Joseph, he doesn't really have any significant strength amps. We don't actually know how much stronger Cars got, besides the fact that he is stronger than the chimps and crickets and shit that he's concurrently stronger than. And Hamon isn't exactly a linear strength amp. We can't really say he got 100 times stronger and faster, as he would have just blown right through Joseph. And there clearly is some form of relativity between them. D also has his ice ability, which literally freezes his opponents on touch by vaporizing their blood. And he also has his mind manipulation abilities. We don't actually know if Cars has any resistance to the mind manipulation abilities, but we do know for a fact that he constantly gets frozen in space, which means that he definitely doesn't have any resistance to the very freezing ability that Dio has. This all, of course, is just part 1 Dio, which should logically just beat Cars, and if we throw a stand on him, it's definitely over, considering that he can just stop time, freeze Cars, throw him up in space, as the speed difference between them are extremely big, and then rinse and repeat until it's over. This pretty much wraps up the video, but as said in the beginning, you should definitely check out the other vampires videos for more detailed explanations on how strong these characters are. And if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and join the Discord in the bio. And peace.